Welcome to Core Concept HQ, where big ideas are simplified. Today we're breaking down the book, The Art of Simple Living.
It is so good to be back. And preparing for this deep dive, just reading the book, it felt less like research and more like a therapy session I didn't realize I desperately needed.
I think so many of us are going to feel that. We live in this age where frazzled is just the default setting.
It's our operating system, yeah.
And you see a title like The Art of Simple Living, and there's this immediate pull. One part of you is like, yes, please, I need that. And the other part is just thinking, simple. Who on earth has time to be simple?
Exactly. And that's the paradox the author, Shunmyo Masuno, really dives into right from the start. He nails this modern condition where we're all just constantly overwhelmed, constantly busy. Our nervous systems are just shot.
Right, the constant low-grade panic.
Yeah. But he points out something really fascinating about how we try to deal with it. Our go-to solution.
The big escape, right? The I need a vacation button.
That's it, exactly. When we're completely burnt out, our first instinct is to find something extraordinary. We think the fix for our chaotic everyday life is to, run away from it.
So we book the big trip to Bali, or we decide we're going to climb a mountain, or maybe just splurge on some fancy retreat for a weekend.
We look for these huge, sweeping gestures, these like movie montage moments of peace. We tell ourselves, if I could just get to that beach, if I can just hear the waves, then I'll be fixed.
And it feels great while you're there. You get
Yeah.
that one perfect photo for Instagram, and you think, okay, I'm a new calm person now.
But then you come home,
And it's Tuesday.
and the mountain of laundry is still there. Your email inbox is doubled. And that Zen feeling just, poof, it evaporates.
But the relief is temporary. It's an illusion.
It is. Because the extraordinary exists outside your real life. You haven't actually changed the container.
Yeah.
You just stepped out of it for a few days. The vacation was a pause button, not a repair kit.
Okay, that's a little depressing, but I see the point. So if running away isn't the answer, what is? He's not just saying, suck it up, is he?
No, not at all. His whole premise is actually so simple that it's almost radical. He says the solution isn't in these big, life-altering events. It's in subtle shifts.
Subtle shifts.
Tiny changes in your habits, in your perspective, that you can do right now, today. In the middle of all the chaos, you don't need to move to a mountain. You just need to tweak how you live where you are.
That feels a lot more doable than selling everything and moving to a yurt.
A lot more.
But before we get into these shifts, we should talk about the author. Who is Shunmyo Masuno? Because there's a lot of, wellness advice out there. Is this guy the real deal?
He is 100% the real deal. But what makes him so unique is that he has a foot in two different worlds.
Okay.
On one hand, he's incredibly traditional. He's the head priest of a Zen temple in Japan that's, get this, 450 years old.
Yeah.
So he's steeped in centuries of wisdom.
Wow. So he's not just some guy who did a weekend meditation course.
Not even close. But here's the other side of him, and this is the key. He's also an award-winning Zen garden designer, a very successful one.
A garden designer. That's not what I expected.
Right. He's a professor. He's lectured at places like Harvard and Cornell. He has clients and projects all over the world. The point is, he's not a hermit who's totally disconnected from our reality. He understands deadlines. He knows what an overflowing inbox feels like.
So he's living this ancient wisdom, but applying it in the context of our crazy modern world.
That's it. He's bridging the gap. And that's what we want to do in this deep dive. This isn't a lecture on Buddhism. It's a toolkit. The book has 100 tips, and we've gone through and pulled out the absolute best ones, the most practical, actionable things you can do to find a little calm.
I'm ready. I need the toolkit. Where do we start?
Well, we've organized the ideas into a few key themes, and the first one is the foundation for everything else. It's called creating space, and it starts right where the problem starts, in the morning.
Okay. And it goes back to that word we just used, busy.
Exactly. Masuno does something brilliant. He goes into the etymology, the origin of the word itself. In Japanese, the written character, the kanji, for busy is, well, it's incredibly telling.
Oh, I love this kind of stuff. Break it down for us.
So the character is made of two separate symbols pushed together. On the left, you have the symbol for heart or mind,
Okay. Heart.
and on the right, you have the symbol for lose or to be lost,
Wait a minute. So busy literally translates to lose your heart.
to lose your heart.
Yes,
Definitely.
that hits a lot harder than just saying, I have a lot on my schedule.
It changes everything, doesn't it? The insight is that we don't feel busy because we're short on time. I mean, we all get the same 24 hours. We feel busy because there's no room left inside us. Our hearts are cluttered. Our minds are lost.
So the problem isn't the calendar, it's our internal state. A productivity app isn't going to fix a lost heart.
It's not. You need to reclaim that inner space.
Yeah.
Which leads directly to his first practical tip. We're calling it the 15-minute rule.
The 15-minute rule. Okay, please don't tell me this is one of those wake up at 4 a.m. and run a marathon things.
No, it's much gentler. He simply suggests waking up 15 minutes earlier than you normally do.
I can do 15 minutes.
But, and this is the part where everyone gets it wrong, is what you do at that time that matters.
Let me guess what you're not supposed to do. Check email.
Absolutely not. Or scroll through social media or look at the news. If you do that, you've already lost your heart before you've even had your coffee.
So what do? Just sit there.
Pretty much. You use those 15 minutes to simply exist. To create what he calls ma.
Ma. I've heard that term. It's a Japanese concept, right? Like negative space in art.
Exactly. In art, ma is the empty space that gives shape and meaning to everything else. Without it, you just have a mess. Masuno says we need to apply that to our time. You need a little buffer of empty time before the day's chaos begins.
So you just, what, sit by a window, drink a glass of water?
You could stretch a little. You could just breathe and look outside. The goal is to do nothing productive. You're magically liberating yourself from that feeling of always rushing.
You know, it's so simple, but it feels revolutionary. Most of us, our feet hit the floor, and we are already behind schedule.
We are. We start the day in a reactive mode, defending ourselves against an onslaught of demands. This is about starting on your own terms, proactively. You're claiming your own existence before you hand it over to your job or your family.
It's like putting on a kind of emotional armor for the day. But it's made of calm, not steel.
That's a great way to put it. And he builds on that with another morning idea that sounds almost poetic. He calls it savoring the air.
Savoring the air, I'm a little skeptical. Isn't air just air, especially city air?
You'd think so. But he mentions that one of the secrets to the long lives of Zen monks isn't just their diet. It's this daily ritual of truly filling their lungs with fresh morning air. The key is to notice that every single morning is different.
What do you mean different?
Well, we tend to sleepwalk through our mornings, right? It's just another Wednesday. But he argues that the air literally tastes different today than it did yesterday. The light hits the wall at a slightly different angle. The humidity, the sound of the birds, the faint breeze. It's all unique to this one moment.
So it's about paying super close attention, an exercise in awareness.
Yes. You're anchoring yourself in the now. You realize that this specific morning has never happened before and will never happen again. By just taking a few deep, conscious breaths, you stop living in your to-do list and you start living in the present moment, which is, the whole point of Zen.
It turns something as automatic as breathing into a special event. I like that. But speaking of morning events, we have to talk about coffee.
Ah, yes. This sacred ritual.
For me, and I know for a lot of you listening, the day has not officially begun until that first cup. And I am definitely guilty of the efficiency-first approach.
The pod machine. Push a button, get brown liquid.
It's a modern marvel. It saves me time.
It does. But Masuno contrasts that, what he calls convenience store coffee, with the Zen approach of making coffee. And he's not being a snob about it. He's making a much deeper point about process.
So what's the Zen way? Grinding the beans by hand?
That's part of it. Grinding the beans, boiling the water, smelling the aroma as you pour, feeling the warmth of the mug in your hands, engaging all of your senses in the process.
That sounds lovely. It also sounds like it takes an extra 10 minutes I don't have.
And that's the trap. But he has this one line in the book that just stopped me in my tracks. He says, when we eliminate effort or process, we eliminate life's pleasures.
Oof. Say that again.
When we eliminate effort, we eliminate life's pleasures.
That is... Wow, that's profound. We're so obsessed with saving time, with optimizing everything.
But what are we saving that time for? Usually to do more work. To answer a few more emails, we strip mine these small sensory rituals out of our day just to be more productive.
We're fast-forwarding through the good parts to get to the stressful parts. It's like we're optimizing all the joy right out of our own lives.
Exactly. We turn a potential pleasure into just fuel intake. So the challenge isn't that you have to do it this way every single day, but maybe on the weekend or just once a week.
Yeah.
You choose the slow way. You choose the effort because the pleasure is in the effort.
I think I can try that. Okay, so we've created a little space in our morning. Now we actually have to go out into the world. This brings us to our second theme, ordering the environment to order the mind.
Yes. Because once you step out of that 15-minute morning bubble, you have to interact with your stuff, your home, your car, your office. And for Masuno, your outer world is just a mirror of your inner world.
I feel that so strongly. When my house is a total mess, I feel anxious. My brain feels messy.
It's a direct
Yeah.
connection. And he starts with what I call the gateway habit. It's so, so simple, almost ridiculously simple. It's about your shoes.
Your shoes. Okay. I know in Japan it's customary to take your shoes off indoors. Is that all he means?
It's a step beyond that. He says, when you come home, don't just kick your shoes off in a pile by the door. Take 3 extra seconds, literally 3, and turn them around so they're neatly lined up, pointing towards the door, ready to go out again.
3 seconds. I can probably manage that. But why? Why is that one little action so significant?
He has another one of those killer lines. He says, disorder in your mind shows in your feet.
Shows in your feet. I love that.
Think about what usually happens. You burst through the door after a long day, you're frazzled from traffic, you're carrying bags, your mind is racing, you kick off your shoes and just dump everything. You're dragging the chaos of the outside world right into your home.
You're describing my Tuesday evening perfectly. My entryway is the blast zone.
By stopping for just those 3 seconds to align your shoes, you're performing a ritual, a transition. You're drawing a line in the sand and saying, the chaos stops here. I am now home.
It's a mental reset button right at the front door.
It is. And it has a practical benefit, too. The next morning, when you're inevitably rushing to get out, what do you find?
My shoes, perfectly aligned, waiting for me, not a chaotic pile I have to dig through.
It's a small gift from your past self to your future self. It starts and ends the day with a tiny moment of order instead of chaos.
I'm going to try that tonight. It feels like such a small lever for such a big mental shift. And I'm guessing this idea extends beyond the front door.
Oh, absolutely. He goes straight to the office with the desk as a mirror.
Ah, the messy desk. I've heard the argument that a messy desk is the sign of a creative mind.
Masuno would disagree. He says a messy desk is usually the sign of a scattered mind. But the key insight here isn't just clean up your desk. It's about reframing the act of cleaning itself.
For most of us, cleaning is a chore. It's an annoying task you have to do because things got dirty.
Right. But in a Zen monastery, cleaning is a core spiritual practice. They call it simu. The monks will sweep floors that already look perfectly clean. Why? Because they're not just sweeping dust off the floor, they're polishing the mind.
Polishing the mind. That's such a beautiful way to think about it.
The physical dust is a metaphor for the mental dust. Your worries, your anxieties, your attachments. So by tidying your desk at the end of the day, you're not just organizing papers, you're clearing your mental slate.
You're closing all the open tabs in your brain.
Exactly. It signals to your subconscious, work for today is complete. You can go home and be fully present. If you leave a mess, a part of your brain stays tethered to that unfinished business all night long.
That makes so much sense. We carry the mental weight of our physical clutter. Which brings us to the clutter itself. He talks about discarding to acquire.
Yes, this is at the heart of the whole minimalist idea. The rule is very simple. Part with something old before you bring in something new.
The classic one in, one out rule.
Right. The metaphor is a full cup. You can't pour anything new into a cup that's already overflowing. If your life is crammed with stuff, there's no room for new energy, new ideas, new experiences.
But he makes a really important distinction here, doesn't he? Between simplicity and frugality.
Yes, and this is so important because people always confuse the two. They think living simply means being cheap or depriving yourself.
Living like a monk in a bear cell with one bowl.
That's not it at all. Masuno explains that frugality can mean just subsisting on low-value things. Buying the cheapest junk because it's cheap, even if it's ugly and breaks easily. Simplicity is totally different. Simplicity is about having fewer things, but things that you genuinely love and value.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Frugality is buying a 50-pack of cheap, disposable plastic pens. Simplicity is owning one beautiful fountain pen that feels perfect in your hand, that you take care of and refill for years.
So it's about quality over quantity. Curation, not deprivation.
It's about your relationship with your possessions. It's better to have one coffee mug that brings you a little spark of joy every morning than a cabinet full of random shipped mugs you got for free and don't care about. That's simplicity.
I love that. Okay, so our environment is in order. We've lined up our shoes. We've polished our minds by clearing our desks. But now we have to deal with the source of the clutter. Our own brains. Theme 3. Mastering the monkey mind.
This is the big one. Because, like you said, you can organize your desk, but how do you organize your thoughts? They don't sit still.
They really don't. The monkey mind is the perfect name for it. Just jumping from worry to worry.
And His first piece of advice here directly challenges our modern addiction. It's called making time for emptiness.
We are terrified of emptiness. I mean, if I have 5 seconds of downtime waiting for an elevator, my phone is out.
We all do it. We are addicted to stimulation, to input. Masuno suggests carving out just 10 minutes a day for nothing,
Hmm.
for emptiness. Not to think, not to plan, just to be.
Okay, that's the classic meditation problem, right? The second you try to not think, your brain starts thinking about everything you've ever done wrong.
It does. So he offers a helpful visualization. Imagine your thoughts are like clouds drifting across the sky,
Mm-hmm.
or bubbles rising up from the bottom of a lake. The mistake we make is we grab onto a cloud,
Yeah.
we see a worry cloud float by and we chase it. We analyze it, we get swept up in it.
Right, you get lost in the thought.
The goal is to just let it drift by. Acknowledge it. Aha, there's a thought about my deadline, and then just let it go. You are the sky, not the clouds. The sky is always there, calm and blue, even when a storm passes through.
You are the sky, not the clouds. That's a really powerful mantra to hold on to.
It is. And speaking of clouds, he has this wonderful story and a metaphor specifically for dealing with anxiety. This one really stuck with me.
I'm ready. Let's hear it.
Imagine a farmer. He's out working in his field under the blazing hot sun. He's sweating, he's tired, he's miserable.
Sounds rough.
He looks up and sees a single fluffy cloud way off in the distance. And he thinks to himself, oh, relief. If that cloud would just drift over my field, it would give me some shade. Then I could work in comfort.
Okay, that seems reasonable.
So he stops working. He leans on his shovel, and he just stands there, watching the cloud, waiting for it to come and save him.
I have a bad feeling about this cloud.
You should. The wind shifts. The cloud drifts off in a different direction. It never arrives. And the farmer has wasted the entire afternoon. He didn't get any work done, and he's still just as hot and miserable as before.
And the moral of the story is,
Don't chase clouds. Don't put your life on hold, waiting for external conditions to be perfect before you can feel peace or get to work.
wow, that's all of us, isn't it? I'll finally relax when this project is over. I'll be happy once I get that promotion. I'll feel secure when the economy gets better.
They're all just distant clouds. We have no control over them. The farmer would have been better off just focusing on the rhythm of his work, on the soil in his hands. He might have found a sense of flow and forgotten about the heat entirely.
And to really drive this point home, he tells a famous Zen story, a Kajuran, about the founder of Zen, Bodhidharma.
Yes, this is one of the classics. So a young, tormented monk named Haik comes to the master, Bodhidharma. He's at his wit's end. He says, Master, my mind is full of anxiety. I can't find any peace. Please, you must calm my mind for me.
I feel you, Hike. We've all been there.
Bodhidharma just looks at him and says, very calmly, Fine, I will calm your mind. But first, you must bring me your anxiety. Show it to me. Put it here on the floor between us.
And what does Huik do?
He's stumped. He looks inside himself, searching for this thing called anxiety. He tries to grab it, to locate it, and finally he has to admit, Master, I can't. When I look for it, I can't find it. It has no shape.
And Bodhidharma's response.
He just smiles and says, There, I have calmed your mind.
That's a total Zen mic drop.
It is. The point is so profound. Anxiety feels like this huge, solid monster sitting on your chest. But it's intangible. It's a ghost. It's a story your mind is telling you. The moment you try to look at it directly, to grasp it, it disappears.
That's actually incredibly comforting. It's a ghost story. But it's a ghost story that gets really loud at night, when you're trying to sleep.
That's the prime time for the monkey mind, which is why Masuno has a specific nighttime reset practice. And the #1 rule is, do not think of unpleasant things before bed.
Easier said than done. That's when my brain likes to play a highlight reel of every awkward thing I've said since 1998.
It takes discipline for sure, but he offers a physical practice to help. He calls it bed zazen. Before you even get under the covers, you sit on the edge of your bed for just 5 minutes.
Why sitting? Why not just lie down and do some deep breathing?
Because your body associates lying down with the struggle to sleep. By sitting up, you create a deliberate transition. You do some deep abdominal breathing, which he says boosts serotonin and literally warms your body, preparing it for rest.
Okay, so it's a physiological shift.
And a mental one. The final step is to replace your racing thoughts, your worries about tomorrow's to-do list, with one simple thought of gratitude. And it's not, I'm grateful for my house, my car. It's even simpler. You just think, I made it through.
I made it through, that's it.
That's it. Even if it was the worst day, even if you made mistakes, you were still here. You survived. You were safe enough to be going to bed. That simple acknowledgement is enough. It tells your nervous system that the fight is over for today. You can stand down.
That is such a gentle way to end the day. It's about acceptance, not ambition.
Exactly. And acceptance leads to rest.
Okay. We've covered our internal state, our home environment. Let's move into the place where simplicity and calm often feel impossible. The workplace and the journey to get there. Theme 4. Zen at work and in transit.
This is where it gets really practical. He starts by completely reframing the commute. Most of us see our commute as a total waste of time. It's an obstacle between where we are and where we want to be.
It's just dead time, lost hours of my life.
Masuno would say it's a necessary non-essential.
And necessary, non-essential, that sounds like a contradiction.
Think about it like this. At a traditional temple or shrine in Japan, you don't just park your car right next to the main building. There's usually a long path. You have to walk through these big red gates called torii.
Right. There's a journey to get to the sacred part.
And that journey is the whole point. The gates are like spiritual airlocks. As you pass through them, you are intentionally shedding the noise and stress of the outside world. You are preparing your mind. The path changes you so that by the time you arrive, you're in a different state.
And the commute is our torii gate.
The commute is your gate between home self and work self. It's the buffer zone. And he argues that people who work from home now actually have it harder because that gate is gone.
Oh, that's so true. There's no transition. You close your laptop and you're instantly in your kitchen. The work stress just spills right over.
So his advice is, if you have a commute, don't waste it. Don't just numb out on your phone or get furious at the person who cut you off. Use it. He even suggests a standing practice. If you're on a crowded train, holding the strap, you can still practice Zazen. Just focus on your breath. Feel your feet on the floor. Stand with a straight spine. Use that time to consciously switch modes so when you walk into the office, you arrive centered and ready.
Okay, so the commute is a tool, not a burden.
Right.
And what about when you're actually at work? He talks about a concept called samu.
Samu, yes. It essentially means mindful work, or work as a spiritual practice. In Zen, work isn't just something you do to get a paycheck so you can enjoy your real life on the weekend. Work is your life. There's a saying in monasteries, a day without working is a day without eating.
That sounds a little intense.
It's not about punishment. It's about participation. It's about dignity. The shift he wants us to make is to stop seeing our tasks as burdens being forced upon us.
As in, ugh, my boss is making me write this stupid report.
Exactly. He says you need to wake up your inner protagonist. You are the star of your own movie.
The star of my own movie. What does that mean in the context of filling out a spreadsheet?
It means you stop being a passive victim of your job. It's not, I have to do this report. It's, I am doing this report. You take ownership of the action. You decide to do it with your whole heart, with full concentration. Not for your boss, but for yourself. Because you are the one performing the action.
That's a huge mental shift. It brings the sense of control back to you.
It does. And that allows you to achieve true immersion. He tells a story about a kendo master, a master of Japanese sword fighting.
Okay.
The master told his students, if you focus on hitting your opponent's shoulder, you are preoccupied. If you focus on the idea of winning, you are preoccupied.
But wait, isn't that the whole point? To hit the target and win the match?
It's the result, yes. But if your mind is stuck on that future outcome, you're not present. You're rigid. You can't react to what's happening right in front of you. The goal is what they call mushin, a clear mind, an empty mind.
Mushin.
You just immerse yourself completely in the action itself. If you're writing an email, you just write the email. You're not thinking about how the person will react or what this means for your career or what you're going to have for lunch. You just write.
So worrying about the result actually makes the result worse.
Almost always, that preoccupation creates friction and suffering. When you just immerse yourself in the task, the suffering disappears. And ironically, you usually do much better work.
That's the flow state. Okay, this has all been very helpful for the mind. But Zen isn't just about thinking. Let's get into the body. Theme 5, the physical connection.
Absolutely. Zen is a very embodied practice, and it all starts with the breath, but with a specific nuance most of us miss. The Japanese word for breathing is kokyu.
Kokyu.
The first character means exhale. The second one means inhale. The order is critical. Exhale first.
Why? When someone tells me to take a deep breath, the first thing I do is gasp air in.
We all do. We try to add more air to lungs that are already full of stale, anxious air. Masuno says you have to empty the cup first. The focus should be on a long, slow, complete exhalation. Push everything out, all the negativity, all the tension. Squeeze the sponge dry.
And then the inhale.
The inhale takes care of itself. Once you create a vacuum, fresh air will rush in naturally. You don't even have to think about it. It's a physiological reset. It's about letting go before you try to take in.
That's a great little hack. Okay, and from breathing, he goes back to the feet,
He does. He has something he calls the barefoot cure.
which is just walk around barefoot.
At home, yes. Or wear simple thong sandals. He says it's about stimulating pressure points between your big toe and your second toe. Apparently, monks do this all year, even in the snow, to strengthen their immune systems.
I'm not sure about the snow part, but I can see the logic. We live our lives in these padded coffins we call shoes.
We're so insulated from the earth. Going barefoot, even just on the wood floor of your house, grounds you. It connects you back to your body and to the physical world. It's hard to be lost in anxious thoughts when you can feel the cold floorboards under your feet.
It's an instant dose of reality. And of course, we can't talk about the physical connection without talking about food.
The ultimate connection. Eat and drink with your whole heart. We've all heard the term mindful eating, but he offers a technique that is, well, it's brutally effective.
What is it?
He says to pause after every single bite.
As in, put your fork down.
Put your fork or chopsticks all the way down on the table. Hands in your lap. Chew your food completely. Swallow. Take a breath. Then you are allowed to pick up your fork again for the next bite.
My dinner would take an hour and a half.
It would. And that is exactly the point. It forces you to slow down. It forces you to actually taste what you're eating, to feel the textures. It makes you grateful for the food, for all the energy, the sun, the rain, the farmers that went into creating that one bite.
It's the antidote to shoveling down a sad desk salad while scrolling on your phone.
Completely. And he also touches on what we eat. He's a big believer in a vegetable-centric diet, and not just for physical health reasons.
What are the mental reasons?
He says, from a Zen perspective, that eating vegetables tends to calm the mind and spirit, whereas eating a lot of meat can inspire a combative spirit.
A combative spirit. You mean like a burger makes you want to pick a fight?
Sort of. It's a heavier energy. It involves the taking of a life. He's not dogmatic about it. He just suggests trying it. Maybe one day a week, eat only vegetarian food, and just observe. See how you feel. Not just your digestion, but your mood, your temperament. Be a scientist of your own body.
Yeah, I like that. It's an experiment, not a commandment. Okay, last big piece of the physical puzzle. Nature. Masuno is a garden designer, so this must be huge for him. But what about those of us who live in tiny apartments in the middle of a city?
This is so important. He says you do not need a national park. You can find nature anywhere. He talks about a place in Tokyo called the Sunset Steps.
Sunset Steps, what's that?
It's just a simple public staircase in a neighborhood where people gather to watch the sunset over the city. But he uses it as a metaphor. Find your sunset steps.
So it could be a balcony or a specific park bench or even just the window at the end of the hallway in your office building.
Yes. A specific spot where you can pause for a few minutes each day and just watch the sky change color. Witness the end of the day. It connects you to the rhythm of the planet, which is so much bigger than your own personal dramas.
And if you don't have a view, he talks about creating a tiny garden, right?
Seclusion in the city. Even if it's just one pot of herbs on a windowsill. Or he has this beautiful idea of a miniature garden in a box. Just some moss and a few small stones.
A box of moss on your desk.
Why not? By caring for it, by really looking at it, you can visualize the vastness of nature in that tiny space. It becomes a mental portal.
A miniature garden in the mind.
That's the ultimate goal. If you spend time really observing that little box of moss, you can call that image to mind when you're stuck in a stressful, windowless meeting room. You can mentally retreat to your garden, even if it's just in your head.
You can carry a little piece of the forest with you. That's a beautiful thought. Wow, we have gone through so much. From waking up 15 minutes early to wear shoes, to the ghosts of anxiety, to being the protagonist at work and finding our sunset steps.
It's a whole life philosophy, really, built out of these tiny, manageable pieces.
It really is. So let's try to pull this all together. For someone listening right now who is feeling completely overwhelmed, what is the single biggest takeaway from the art of simple living?
I think it's this. Simplicity isn't about having nothing. It's about stripping away everything that is non-essential so you can see what truly matters. And it's a process that works from the outside in.
How so?
It starts with your body, your posture, your breath, the simple act of waking up with intention. Then it moves to your environment, your shoes, your desk, the things you own. You bring order to your physical world. And from there, finally, it settles in your mind.
Body, environment. Mind. One leads to the next.
They're all connected. And the final thought I'd want to leave everyone with, the real core of his message, is a challenge to stop blaming the world for our stress. He says, if the world isn't going the way you want, change yourself. Then you can move through any world with ease.
Don't wait for the world to change. Don't wait for the cloud.
Don't wait for the cloud. Be the protagonist. The peace you're looking for isn't out there somewhere. It's right here, in how you choose to do the next small thing.
I love that. I think I'm going to go line up my shoes right now.
Me too. Sounds like a good place to start.
Thanks for listening, and remember, this is Core Concept HQ, where we simplify powerful ideas to help you live smarter. See you in the next summary.